Have you ever wondered how your words impact your professional relationships and your career trajectory? Well, if you haven't, it's high time you did. Because believe it or not, communication can make or break your success in the workplace. And we're not just talking about the big presentations or important emails, we're talking about the everyday exchanges, the casual conversations, the off-the-cuff remarks that can either build bridges or burn them. In a professional setting, effective communication is not just about conveying information. It's about fostering relationships, establishing trust, and demonstrating your understanding of the work culture. It's about showing respect for your colleagues and superiors and winning their respect in return. It's about navigating the subtle nuances of office politics without stepping on toes. And most importantly, it's about expressing yourself clearly, confidently, and respectfully without inadvertently offending or alienating your coworkers. Now you might be thinking, sure, I get that, but I'm not a rude or disrespectful person. I don't yell or swear or belittle people. I'm good. And that's great. But effective workplace communication goes beyond avoiding overtly negative behavior. It's also about steering clear of certain phrases that, while seemingly innocuous, can actually have negative implications. These are phrases that we all use from time to time, often without realizing the impact they can have. Phrases like, "That's not my job," or "I can't," or "It's not fair." Phrases that can subtly undermine your professionalism, your credibility, and your relationships in the workplace. Phrases that can make you seem uncooperative, uncommitted, or even just plain lazy. Phrases that you might not even realize are problematic until it's too late. So, how can you avoid these verbal landmines? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. We're going to delve into some of the most common phrases that you should avoid using in your workplace, and suggest some alternative ways of expressing the same ideas in a more positive and productive manner. Let's dive into some of the phrases that you should avoid using in your workplace. First on our list is, "That's not my job." This phrase can be a red flag in the workplace. It rings alarms of inflexibility and a lack of team spirit. When you say, "That's not my job," you're essentially telling your coworkers and superiors that you're not willing to step outside your comfort zone or help the team when they need it most. But let's be clear. We're not advocating for overextending yourself or taking on tasks way beyond your capacity. It's about how you communicate your boundaries. Instead of resorting to, "That's not my job," try something like, "I would love to help, but my current workload won't allow me to give this task the attention it deserves." Or even, "I'm not sure I'm the best person for this task, but I can suggest someone who might be." Remember, it's not about doing everything, but about communicating your capabilities effectively. "I can't," a small phrase with a big impact. It's a statement that can paint you as someone who lacks problem-solving skills or initiative. It's like putting up a stop sign in the middle of a conversation, halting progress and innovation. Instead of outright stating, "I can't," consider shifting your language to demonstrate a willingness to try or seek help. Say, "This is challenging, but I'm willing to give it a shot," or "I'm not sure how to proceed. Can you guide me?" By doing so, you're not only showing your commitment to the task at hand, but also your openness to learning and growth. It's essential to remember that everyone encounters difficulties and unfamiliar situations, but it's how we respond to these challenges that shape our professional image. So, instead of succumbing to the pitfall of "I can't," embrace the opportunity to expand your skills and knowledge. Turn "I can't" into an opportunity to expand your skills and knowledge. Another phrase to avoid is, "It's not fair." This statement can come off as immature and unprofessional, painting you as someone who lacks the ability to handle adversity with grace. It's a common phrase that we've all uttered at some point in our lives, often in response to situations that we feel are unjust. However, in the professional realm, it's crucial to communicate our concerns or disagreements in a more constructive manner. Instead of resorting to "it's not fair," consider articulating your perspective in a way that fosters understanding and dialogue. For instance, you might say, "I'm having difficulty understanding the reasoning behind this decision. Could you please clarify?" Or perhaps, "I have a different perspective on this issue. Would it be possible to discuss it further?" Remember, fairness can be quite subjective. What might seem unfair to you could be perfectly reasonable to another. Instead of dwelling on perceived unfairness, focus on understanding different perspectives. This approach not only demonstrates your maturity, but also your willingness to engage in productive conversations. Fairness is subjective. Focus instead on understanding different perspectives. Next, let's tackle, "This may be a stupid question." Now, we've all been there, right? in a meeting, a conversation, or simply trying to understand a new concept, and we preface our questions with this phrase. But here's the trap. This seemingly innocent phrase can actually undermine our own confidence and credibility. You see, when we say, "This may be a stupid question," we're subtly suggesting that we lack the insight or knowledge to understand the topic at hand, which isn't the case at all. We're asking because we want to learn, to grow, to engage, and there's nothing stupid about that. Now, here's a pro tip. Ask your questions directly. Simple, straightforward, no disclaimers. It shows you're confident, you're invested, and most importantly, you're not afraid to learn. Remember, questions are the sparks that ignite the flames of knowledge and understanding. So, let's banish the phrase, "This may be a stupid question," from our vocabulary. No question is stupid if it leads to better understanding. Avoid the phrase, "I'll try." Now, this might sound a bit odd. After all, isn't trying a good thing? Well, in the context of the workplace, uttering the words, "I'll try," can come off as non-committal and uncertain. It's as though you're leaving room for the possibility of failure before you've even begun. Here's the deal. When you say, "I'll try," it doesn't exactly inspire confidence. It's a bit like saying, "Maybe I will, maybe I won't." Instead, consider phrases that convey dedication and determination. Swap out "I'll try" with "I'll make it happen" or "I'll find a way." These alternatives not only suggest a more proactive approach, but also communicate your commitment to the task at hand. Remember, your words are a reflection of your attitude. So when you're at work, be wary of the misstep of saying "I'll try." Instead, strive for commitment in your words and actions. Last but not least, steer clear of "It's always been done this way." This little phrase, often uttered with a shrug, is a creativity killer. It's like a roadblock on the path to innovation, a sign that says, "No new ideas allowed here." When we cling to old methods simply because they're familiar, we miss out on the chance to do things better, faster, or more efficiently. The world is changing, and the workplace is no exception. New technologies and techniques are emerging all the time, and if we're not open to them, we risk falling behind. Sticking to "the way it's always been done" is like refusing to take off a blindfold. You might feel safe, but you're missing out on the whole view. So, instead of clinging to the past, let's embrace change. Let's be curious, let's learn, and let's grow. Challenge the status quo and embrace the opportunity for improvement. Let's quickly recap the phrases to avoid at work. We've taken a deep dive into the world of workplace communication, highlighting the importance of choosing our words wisely. Now let's summarize the key points we've discussed, focusing on what not to say at work, the reasons why, and the suggested alternatives. First off, we tackled the danger of saying, "That's not my job." This phrase can come off as uncooperative and inflexible, potentially damaging your professional image. Instead, try to convey your concerns or limitations in a more constructive manner. Then we moved on to the pitfall of "I can't." This phrase can project a defeatist attitude and dampen the team's spirit. Instead, consider phrases like, "Let's find a way to make this happen," or "I need assistance with this task," to maintain a proactive and positive image. We also discussed the risk of "it's not fair." While it's important to voice your concerns, using this phrase can make you seem like a complainer rather than a problem solver. A better approach could be, "I'm facing some challenges with this. Can we discuss potential solutions?" After that, we explored the trap of "this may be a stupid question." By prefacing your queries this way, you're unnecessarily undermining your own credibility. Instead, just ask your question confidently, remembering that it's okay not to know everything. We then looked at the misstep of "I'll try." This phrase can suggest uncertainty and lack of commitment. To display your determination, consider saying, "I will do my best to achieve this." Finally, we examined the blunder of "it's always been done this way." This phrase can stifle innovation and progress. To new ideas and improvements, you could say, "Let's consider other approaches to this task." Remember, every word you utter at work paints a picture about you. Make it a masterpiece. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful tips and advice on effective communication at work.